3 years ago, I left my cushy six-figure job at Facebook to try my hand at a startup. Today, I'll talk about everything that's hard about running a startup and why I think it's still worth it. Let's get started. Running a startup's really hard, and you should really consider if you want to do one. That being said, it's a really natural progression for people who are working in large tech companies to start their own startup one day. So today, let me at least start off with the 7 reasons why I think starting a startup is really hard. 1, you are always on the clock. No matter if you're on vacation or you're out at the bars, if something breaks, you are on the hook for fixing it. That can be pretty annoying. Reason number 2 is that you're constantly worrying. Because you're always on the clock, you never know when the next fire will come, and there will be another fire. So that just adds to this inability to kind of live in the present and really enjoy what's going on. The reason is constant rejection. No matter if you're selling to investors, to potential hires, to customers, you're constantly going to be rejected. It doesn't feel good. That being said, over time, you do start to become a little bit numb to it. Reason number 4 is that you are constantly lonely. The startup journey is incredibly difficult, and most of the time, you're not going to have people who are in the trenches with you. Especially if you're a solo founder, you're really going to feel alone a lot of the time. 5, there is no clear direction. Unlike working at a big tech company, you don't have a manager or boss telling you exactly what you should be doing. It's up to you to figure that out. And while the autonomy is great, sometimes you won't exactly know if what you're focusing on is the right thing. And that can create a lot of stress. Reason number 6, staying focused. Given that there is no clear direction and you can be working on anything at any time, choosing one thing and committing to it is really difficult. And the final reason for why I think running startups is so hard is your self-worth, and specifically comparing your self-worth to the success of your company. Leaving your big cushy job to go start a company requires taking a lot of risk, and you're putting yourself out there to look foolish in front of your friends, your family, your coworkers. And one thing you worry about is, was it worth it? And if your company is not successful, especially in those early days, you feel like a failure, and that starts to affect your self-worth. And it is the wrong mentality to have, but regardless, you're going to feel it in those early days. Despite all of this, starting a company is still worth it. So let me talk about the reasons why I actually love running a startup and I can't imagine doing anything else. Reason number 1 is the autonomy. You get to work and live on your own terms. You're not required to go into the office. You're not required to wear a tie. You can live where you want, work the hours that you want. And that's really liberating. I still choose to wear a tie, but to each their own. Number 2 is the personal and professional growth that you'll experience. You're going to have to master dozens of skills across sales, marketing, design, programming, automations. And the amount that you'll grow in this process is going to be invaluable for the rest of your career. Number 3 is that it's really rewarding. One of the coolest parts about running a startup is the fact that you get to solve an unsolved problem in the world. And that gets to help people, and getting to see that impact every day is inspiring. My 4th and final reason for why I think running a startup is worth it is the fact that you get to leave a legacy. When you create a startup, you're creating your own mini world with its own rules and cultures that you get to help dictate. And if you're successful, your legacy will live on. Your organization actually might outlive you and help generations. That's just my 2 cents. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Please let me know in the comments if you run a startup, what your experience has been like, or if you're thinking about starting one, what's holding you back. With that, this is Ish, signing off.